Hey guys, it's Lauren from FarewellFlub with my second vlog update. Proudly brought to you again from my bedroom because I'm sick again, but more on that later. So, this week I'm going to talk to you again about what's been good this week, what's been meh this week, and also a lot on why I hit a plateau and what I did about it. So, first of all, what's been good this week is I had some really great non-scale victories. I did my measurements for the first time in 2 months and I'd lost quite a fair bit off my waist. I'm almost less than 100 centimeters now. I also, my hips shrunk, my thighs shrunk, my boobs stayed the same and my arms stayed the same because I have massive muscles now, which you can't see in my awesome Mumford & Sons jumper, which I'm going to wear all week as a good luck token for getting Mumford & Sons tickets this week. But anyway, I'm a crazy fangirl. Yeah, so measurements shrunk, that's really great and super important to focus on how awesome that is. Other things that happened that were non-scale victories is there's this dress that I've wanted for ages, and by the website's measurements I wouldn't have even fit in the largest size, so I never even bothered going to the shop to try it on. Went to the shop yesterday to try it on. The biggest one was a tent. I had to go down 3 sizes before I got one that fit me, so that was awesome. And buying clothes that are a much smaller size is just the best feeling. It's fantastic to walk into the shops and not go right to the back of the rack to grab out the clothes that you need, and that's in a plus size store. So that is something that I am very, very much enjoying. Mind you, I still go right to the back of the rack. I just get into the change room and put it on and go, yeah, yes, must get a smaller one. So these are all things that are very fun and exciting and much more important than a number on a scale. So what's not been so great this week is I think the past day I've really realised that I probably pushed myself a bit too hard. Every single time I go to the gym, I try and get a PR. Every single time I go there, I push myself 150%, and it's just really taking its toll on my body, as can be seen by the fact that I am sick again. So I'm really going to focus a bit more on taking adequate amounts of rest, and that's probably something that I'll vlog about, at another time. So, plateau. In all honesty, I've tried to shoot this video about 8 times already, and it's really, really hard for me to talk about my plateau. Now, I was on a plateau for around 3-4 months. So in December, my weight just really started to slow down. I stopped losing quite so much. And it really started to get to me. So I declared I was on a plateau. I started trying a million different things to lose weight. I added more cardio into my workouts. I cut my calories back. I increased my calories. I switched around basically every few weeks, trying to find different things to move myself off this stupid plateau. But I didn't really address at all the reason that I was on the plateau. And it wasn't until recently, when I've done that, things have really started to change again. So about a month ago, I went and saw a nutritionist / naturopath who specialises in polycystic ovarian syndrome, which I suffer from. So he came highly regarded by my coach at Barbell. He's worked with hundreds and hundreds of women, successfully helped them manage their polycystic ovarian syndrome. Now, when I left his session, wow, my eyes were really open as to why I was on a plateau. I was really excited to get this eating plan that he was going to give me. I just knew that he understood where I was going and, yeah, could really help me. So that was all well and good until I actually got the meal plan that he did up, which was pretty much a 1200 calorie diet, really super low carb, which is fine. I operate on a low carb model at the moment because it's best for treating polycystic ovarian. But the really low calorie thing freaked me right out, and I wrote back to him and said, look, I lift heavy weights all the time. I burn 500 calories a day almost in weights and exercise. I think like 1200 calories ain't going to cut it. And he pretty much just told me to give it a go, which I wasn't happy with. So I did stick to his guidelines around what foods to eat, but pretty much just doubled it. So hey, all was not lost there. He did really help me though, and probably not in the way that he thought. So when I went into the session, he spoke to me about why I thought I was on a plateau. And he asked me about who I was, and just to tell him about myself. And the first thing that I came out with was, oh, well, I'm just losing weight. That's not me. But at the time, that is how I was defining myself. I was defining myself by the amount of weight I was losing, and the amount of calories that I was eating, and the amount of exercise that I was doing, rather than actually anything about me as a person. And a lot of this was brought on by people's changed attitudes towards me because of my weight loss. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all, the amount of attention and how interested people were in my weight loss at all, but it really did kind of cause me to sabotage myself. So I'll go into a little bit about why that was. Now, before I lost weight, I was a pretty bloody unhappy person. So I had depression, I had anxiety. I probably wasn't very much fun at all to be around. When I started losing weight, I started to become much happier. I was excited about things. I found things that I was passionate about. I found things that I loved. And I guess that radiated out of me. Because of that, people started talking, like, I really can't explain it, but it felt to me like I was getting a lot more respect from people, and a lot of people were really proud of me and would be complimenting me on my appearance, and to be honest, I hated the attention. I hated that up until that time in my life, I had felt really alone and depressed and anxiety ridden, and that people didn't really understand. And then all of a sudden, because I was losing weight and because I looked different, people started to treat me different. And in my head, I saw that as because they just saw that I was skinnier and they liked me more. And I really started to sabotage myself based around that. And I think that's a lot of where this plateau came from, is that in my head, I had changed so much, and I'd really just defined myself as a person in my weight loss, because that's how I perceived others around me were seeing me. I thought that all they could see was the small clothes that I was wearing, or the fact that my face was skinnier. And I thought that that's why their attitudes towards me had changed. And that was really hard. I also felt so much pressure. On one hand, I didn't like that they were giving me that attention, but on the other hand, I kind of craved it, in that I was validating myself by each time someone said, oh, you're looking much healthier. I was validating myself via those comments. Every time my parents were excited and proud of me that I'd lost more weight, I was validating myself by that. And I was just trying then so hard to lose weight and restricting my calories so much and over exercising, that it got to the point where I was putting this much stress on my body to do these things that of course my body just went nah, and just stopped getting rid of the weight. So when people put all these things up, like abs are made in the kitchen and it's 80% what you eat and 20% exercise, no, it's bullshit. It's 110% mental. I cannot stress enough how much of a difference being in a good headspace makes to your overall weight loss experience. Shannon, who was the nutritionist, told me a story about a girl who was doing the 12-week body, whatever that Michelle Bridges thing is called, was doing that and was the poster girl for them in WA and lost some ridiculous amount of weight, pretty much halved her body size. And he went and saw her again later on, and she'd put back on all of the weight that she lost. Now, the reason for that he discovered with her was because people just defined her as being this person that just lost weight, and that's all she did. That's who she was then to them. She didn't have her own identity. She was just, wow, this awesome person who's lost weight. And I mean, that's a cool person to be, like a successful person who's changed their lives, but that's not all you are. You are not just your weight loss. And that's something that I've really had to define for myself, is that, yeah, it's awesome that I'm eating healthier and I found these passions in my exercise that I love, but it doesn't take over my personality. I still have other things in my life just besides my weight loss, and that's really important to realize. The other thing is that getting all that attention and people being proud of you and losing weight just put this pressure on you to conform all of the time. So I'd be eating things in secret that I thought were naughty, because if I ate it in public, I thought people might judge me. Like, that's ridiculous. But it's the same kind of thing. When you're losing weight, you can't even eat chocolate in public or say yes to a piece of cake without people thinking that you're sabotaging your diet and sabotaging your weight loss. And why is she eating that? She's losing weight. It's crazy. That mentality just puts so much extra stress on you and contributes so much to being on a plateau. Weight loss and stress do not work together. You cannot be stressed, especially around food and exercise, and still expect to be losing weight. Cortisol spikes from stress, over-exercising, under-eating will just cause your body to hold on to any ounce of fat that is on it. So it does not work being that stressed out about things. So essentially I walked out of that session and I really learnt that I had to change my frame of mind. I had to redefine my weight loss and set myself up with kind of a game plan for how I was going to handle my weight loss. So one of my pet peeves, first of all, was the scales thing. So people, as soon as you see them, was, oh, you look great, how much weight have you lost now? You don't want to be asked that all the time. I don't walk up to someone and say, oh, like, that's such... Who cares? Like, you can just say that I look great. You don't have to know how much weight I've lost. That's not really important. I don't walk up to them and ask them immediately some random factoid about their lives, because I don't define them by what their number on the scales is. So, I've made it pretty clear now to most people in my lives that I don't weigh myself anymore. So I expect that I'm not asked that question anymore, which makes things a lot easier. It takes away a lot of that pressure. The second thing that I've done is, when people ask, I used to get peeved a lot that people would be asking me about my food choices and questioning things that I was eating. So I don't tell really many people anymore how I'm eating or what I'm eating or why I'm eating it. And I don't declare my relationships with food at all. So if I don't think something's right for me, I will sneakily avoid it and not eat it. I don't really explain to people why or what I'm doing, because it's frustrating. When people are constantly questioning your nutrition decisions, it's just annoying. It's another stress factor. It's something that you don't need in your life. So my answer now when people ask me, oh, what are you doing? You look great, is I'm just exercising and eating right, and I leave it at that. I don't talk to people about really much that I'm doing powerlifting or that I've changed my body by lifting weights, because I'm sick of explaining myself. You don't owe it to anyone else. If people want to lose weight, they'll lose weight however they want. You don't owe any explanations to anyone, and a lot of the time you're just putting further expectations on yourself and giving yourself more stress that you don't need. So it's really hard to talk about this plateau, actually, and really hard to get it into words that make sense, but I guess the overall theme of where I'm going here is you need to if you're on a plateau, the first thing I suggest is to try and eliminate a lot of the stress in your life, especially around your food and exercise, because that's made the most massive difference to me. And it's really allowed me to get into a really good frame of mind again about my weight loss, getting rid of the scales, giving me this freedom that now I know that I'm just nurturing my body. I eat for fuel, I eat to lift really heavy weights. I lift heavy weights because I know that they're shaping my body in the way that I want. I know they make me feel awesome. And that's the things that you need to find. Just find the stuff that you love doing. Eat right. Everyone, deep down, everyone has the ability to find out what eating right is for them, and everyone knows when you're eating to feel and look good. So I know when I'm eating healthy, I know when I'm exercising to the right level, and I just have to trust that my body's going to do the right thing, and it will. So yeah, I hope that wasn't too confusing, and if you have any questions, send them through to me and I will do my best to answer them. Thanks guys.